right? And so now we have these lines, almost like longitude and latitude lines, right? But they're closer together than that. So the ones that run north and south, and so let me do a little legend here for that. Right? The ones that run north and south are what kind of lines? The main ones.
Range?
Well, even before then, right? The main lines that are running north and south that are like right after
Principal meridian?
Right? Principal meridians. Okay? Those are principal meridians that they run north and south. And then the main lines that run this way are called what?
Baseline?
Right? So principal meridians and then baselines. Everybody follow me? So now if you look at one of these squares, that's a pretty big piece of land, right? Now it breaks it up, again, these principal meridians and so forth. There's basically how many of them in the United States? Does anybody remember? How many principal meridians are in the United States?
37.
37. Right? So there's 37 principal meridians in the United States. Okay? And so again, that's a pretty big piece of land. So we need to drill down even further, right? And so if we were to make north to south strips of land, right, that are going to be divided by 6-mile wide strips. So again, I'll use a different color because I know you guys like me to get fancy, right? So I can figure out how to use a different color right here. Let's do green. I know this is going to be crazy looking and it's not going to be, this is not according to scale. So what are these lines called? Who knows? What are these lines called every 6 miles? Ranges, right? So these are range, these green ones, these are range lines. Who's got questions so far on that? Okay. And then again, these baselines are pretty big from each other. So we want to drill down even more every 6 miles, all that kind of good stuff. 6-mile strips, right? 6-mile strips, 6-mile strips, boom, 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 boom. What are these called?
Those township lines?
Those are township lines. So these ones that run east and west, right, are township lines. So now who's got questions on that? Anyone? Okay. So basically, remember a township, like let's say I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna try to find a nice square. So you see towards, does everybody see in the middle of me doing a little coloring? Guess what? I hate coloring in the lines. I get even right now, I have a level of stress that I do not want to waste my time. Not to say you shouldn't, but I'm not into arts and crafts. I'm like, I gotta go. Like right now, I feel like I gotta get up and I gotta get rolling in my life. I don't have time to sit here and color in the lines. It's driving me nuts, right? But everybody sees that right there, right? So technically, how many, what is this called right here? It's kind of interesting. What's that called?
Section?
That's, well, we didn't even get to that point yet,
Oh.
right? But I mean, it was good, but we're not even at that point yet. That's called the township. So remember, it's kind of interesting that we have township and township lines. So think about a town, right? An average town here in the area. And an average town is how many square miles, such as this?
36.
36 square miles. Yep. So this is a 36 square mile piece of land. So now remember, if you have a piece of land for sale, or you want to tell somebody where you live, and you tell them Township 28, right? That's still not going to be able to explain to them because 36 square miles is pretty big, right? Okay. So we have to take this. Let me do a little color here. And we have to take this township, right? You follow me? Hopefully you'll see that in a minute, that yellow circle. And we have to drill it down even further. So I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to drill this down even further to help give you an idea of this whole, how this whole government rectangular survey system works. Does that sound good to everybody? Who's got questions so far? No one? All right. Am I supposed to say, or forever hold your peace? That's it. All right, boom, it's gone. So I took that green square, which is a township, and I'm going to draw it again. That's that same square, right? Now that green square is a township, 36 square miles. And the way that we divide that, right, is into what? What do we divide that into?
Sections.
Sections. And the weird, so these are all, and so how many sections do we have?
36.
Oops, hey, what's wrong with me? What the heck? Man, did I go to school? See, even this, I feel like I gotta go a lot faster. I'm trying to do all the numbers, right? So let me do it though the right way. What the question I want to ask you is, do you see how I'm numbering these? What is the reasoning that the book gives you that their sections are numbered this way? Who remembers in their reading? So why are they numbered this way?
School.
Well, there is a section here that's commonly used for schools, but that's not necessarily why it's numbered that way. You see how I started in the top right-hand corner? And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then boom, went down, and then went across, and then went down, and then went across. So what does it tell you the reason why they're numbered this way? And remember, here's why it's a big deal. Because in your book, whether you have the electronic version or the written version, it's in a box in the margin, right? So if they put it in a box in a margin, that means it's important enough to understand it, to go through it.
The same way a field is plowed.
Right? So that's what they tell you. The same way that a field is plowed. So you're going across, right? Now, I don't know if it was April or if it was someone else. I apologize because I didn't get a chance to look at the screen, whoever was telling, who said section number 16 is usually used as a school, right? And why do you think? Remember, this is a township. Why do you think?
Centrally located.
Yeah, centrally located in the middle, pretty simple and easy. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So, this is a town. Each one of these sections is how big?
Square mile.
A square mile. So if I wanted to run from this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner, I'd be running 4 miles, right? So now what we have to do though, if I told you section 6, I have a piece of land for sale in section 6, a square mile is pretty big. Now there are certain numbers that you have to memorize and certain numbers that don't really matter. But one of the numbers you have to memorize is the area of a section. So if I was to say there's so many, how many acres are in section 6?
640.
Right, so that's a number, 640 acres, that you're gonna have to remember, okay? So now what we're gonna do, before I go any further, I'm gonna ask you if you have any questions, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this section 6, you see, and we're gonna drill down even further into it. How does that sound? Doesn't that sound exciting? Can't get enough of this, right? I know how you're feeling. I'm right there with you. Did someone have a question? No one? All right, you ready? Clear it, bam. Okay, so now we're gonna take section 6. Okay, and we're gonna get an understanding on how to read the descriptions of it. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna notice on the bottom right hand side, I'm writing down section 6. Now remember, we have to read backwards. Okay, we have to read backwards, and so to understand this. So basically, we're going to, and there's going to be a few different ways in which we can do it, right? But I'm going to just kind of go at it this way, and we'll see what kind of questions you have. So you see what I wrote on the bottom? I wrote SE, which means southeast. My little thing there. Southeast 1/4 of section 6. Okay, so if we say, okay, we need to find out where is this land that's the southeast 1/4 of section 6. We're going to take section 6 and we're going to make it into quarters, because that's what it says, the southeast 1/4. And you see right here where my pointer is, southeast, right? It's the bottom and the right hand side. So where's the southeast 1/4? Right here. Everybody follow me? Now, there's 2 ways to do this, but the question I'm going to ask you is how many acres are in the southeast 1/4 of section 6? Who knows? How many acres are in the southeast quarter of section 6?
40. 160.
Anybody else?
160.
All right. So remember, this whole section is how many acres?
640.
640. So a half of that is basically, whoa, I don't know what the heck I just did there. A half of that would be 320.
Yeah.
And a quarter or half of 320 or a quarter of 640 would be what? 160.
160. Yep.
So, but we're not done yet, because again, if I tell you that this is my land, it's within the southeast 1/4 of section 6, that's still a pretty big piece of land, right? And so we need to drill down even further. So let's just say the piece of land I tell you is at the northeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6. All right. Now you're like, oh man, here we go. Okay. So we have to drill back. We have to go backwards. We say we have section 6. We have the southeast 1/4 of section 6. And then the northeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4. So we're going to take this quarter, the southeast 1/4, we're going to put in quarters again. And where's the northeast 1/4? Well, you see our little legend up here in the top left, top right, northeast. It's north or up and to the right. So the northeast is where? Right here. This is the northeast
Right.
1/4. Everybody follow me? Northeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6. So how many acres is that?
40.
40. All right. So how did we get that? Well, the whole thing is what? 640 acres. A quarter of that was 160, and a quarter of that is 40. But you might be like, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there an easier way? Now, I'm going to tell you, I've never been a math shortcut person. I've never been the math whiz that I can just like, oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. But this, for some reason, this shortcut is pretty cool to me, and it makes a lot of sense. So who knows what the shortcut is that they talk to you about in your reading? Who knows?
Is it reading it backwards?
Well, reading it backwards, but also what's the math shortcut that they give you to be able to figure out how many acres are in a piece of land when it comes to rectangular government survey system? Anybody remember? Well, the shortcut is that you're going to take these denominators. So you see how we have northeast 1/4, I'm at the bottom in the middle, and you see what's the first denominator there is a 4. And then you're going to take the next denominator, and because it's up, you're going to multiply it. So 4 times 4 is what? Anybody?
16.
16.
And then you're going to take 640 acres divided by 16, and what do you get? Anybody? You get 40? No?
Yes.
All right. So that's 40 acres. Okay. Now we're going to take it to the next step. You ready? Now I got to blow your mind, because there's going to be a lot of different weird questions happen on this. So inside here is 40 acres. Okay. But what if the guy wants to buy this from you? Okay. And he tells you he's selling it for $2 and actually let me take a step back. $2,500 an acre. $2,500 an acre. How much is that land going to cost you to buy it? 2,000, because it's raw land.
100 grand.
So what you do, 40 acres, right, times $2,500 gives you what? 100 grand. Everybody got that?
Yep.
That's pretty easy to do, right? Hopefully. Who's got questions so far? Now I'm taking to the next step. You bought this land and you want to put a fence around it. So here's this land right here. You want to put a fence around it. Okay, so how many feet of fence do you need? That's what we need to figure out. Number one, how many feet of fence do you need? So as an example, let me do a little different color here. If let's just say we're gonna take a step back here, and I'm gonna talk to you about if I was gonna start over here tomorrow morning, right? In the top left-hand corner of section 6. And I was gonna run all the way over to right here. How far would I have to run?
A mile?
1 mile, which equals, and here's another number you have to memorize, equals how many feet? 1 mile.
5280?
Right? So that's a number you have to remember, 5,280 feet. Okay? Now, if I was just gonna run from here to here, how far would I have to run? So if I was gonna just run from here to here, how far would I have to run?
2640.
140.
Right? A half a mile or 2,640 feet. Now, let's just say I was gonna run from here to here. How far would I have to run? Let's consider this is exactly half, right? I have to run a 1/4 mile, or how many feet,
1,320.
right? So if you look at this, from here to here is how many feet? 1,320. And then over here to here, 1,320. Then from here to here, 1,320. And then from here to here, 1,320. Now you might have said, oh, I could just do 1,320 times 4. Yes, of course you can. But anyways, the whole point is that if you were gonna put a fence from here to here to here to here to here, now that's called linear line. You see how I'm making these red lines? That's called linear. And that would, a fence around here would have to be what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12. Right? So you'd have to get 5,280, which of course is the same as this because it's 1/4 mile, 1/4 mile, 1/4 mile, 1/4 mile, 5,280 feet of fence. So that's an L, linear feet. So who's got questions so far? Because you know this isn't it. We got to take it to the next level. Who's got more questions for him? Okay, because I'm going to do this and then you're going to have to do one yourself. Right? We're going to do one ourselves. So now we're going to go, since we have room up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, we're going to write up here. So I'm going to tell you that this fence, okay, is going to be 6 feet high. Whoa. Whoa, come on. 6 feet high. Okay. And the cost of the fence is $2.35 per square foot of fence. That's the number one cost. And then they're going to charge you $3 per linear foot for installation. So let's go over this again. Your fence is 6 feet high, right? The cost of it is $2.35 per square foot of fence. And number two, $3 per linear foot for installation. So how much is this fence gonna cost us?
A lot.
So what's really the first step that we need to do? What's really the first step we need to do?
$5,280 times 6 feet.
Okay, so what does that mean? So you got that pretty good, right? So step number one, kind of like coming over here with this. Oops. Step number one. Think about, does everybody understand why do we have to take 5,280 and multiply it times 6? Because think about it this way. You're on the ground, right? And you measure out a foot, 12 inches. Well, this fence is 6 feet high. So we got 1 square foot, 2 square foot, 3 square foot, 4 square foot, 5 square foot, 6 square feet. We have 6 square feet for every foot of linear feet. Does that make sense? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the linear feet, 5,280 times 6 equals what?
31,680.
31,680 square feet of fence. So who's got questions on that? Nobody? Everybody feels comfortable with that? All right. And then what's step number two?
Multiply it by the $2.35 for the square foot of fence.
That's right. So you're going to do 31,680 times $2.35 gives you what?
74,448.
Now this is just what? The cost of the fence. $74,000, 75 grand. But remember, this is 40 acres. If you own 40 acres of big land like this, you don't care about 75 grand if you really want to put a fence around it. But that's, anyways, that's what it is, $75,000 for the fence. And then for installation is going to be what? 5,280 again, times $3 of linear feet. What does that come out to be?
15,840.
15,840. So you take that 74,000 plus the 15,840 equals what? Anyone?
90,288.
So that is the cost, the total cost of putting a fence around this piece of land. So who's got questions on that? And believe me, you will get weird questions like this on the state exam. Anybody want to go over this or talk about it more? All right, you sure? Oh, all right, here we go. So, number one, let's see here. Oh. Okay, so what does that say? That says I want to know what is how many acres are in the south 1/2 of the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6, range 9, township line 6, principal meridian 11. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to let you know, make it easier for you, is I'm going to tell you all this is BS that they might put in a question just to confuse you. All right. So the whole point is the south half of the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6. How many acres is that? So there's a couple ways you can do it. The first one is making a drawing. And the second one is what? Who knows the second way you can do it?
4 times 4 times 4.
Common denominator.
Well, you use the math shortcut, but it wouldn't be 4 times 4 times 4. What would it be?
2 times 4 times 4.
Yep. So let's do the math shortcut first. We take the denominators, 2 times 4 times 4. So 2 times 4 times 4 equals what?
32.
32.
Yeah.
And then the second step is you're going to do 640 divided by what? 32 equals what?
20.
20. So you see that it's saying that there's 20 acres. Okay. So let's see if we did it a different way. Here, let's say it's section 6. Okay. I like to do my north, south, east, west. Right? So if I start over here, right? Section 6, and now it says the word of. So that's one thing I wanted to show you, because if it said the word and, it would mean what? It's a different piece of land. Okay, but anyways, it says the southwest 1/4 of section 6. So if this is section 6 and it says 1/4, well, where's the southwest? You see right here? South and west, southeast, south and east, right? So here's the south, here's the east. So southeast 1/4 of section 6. Now we got to drill down even more, because before that, it has an of. You follow me? So now where's the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6? So if we take the southeast 1/4 and we drill it into quarters, northwest is right here, right? Everybody follow me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the northwest 1/4 where I'm pointing. That's the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6. And then here's another of southern half. The southern half of the northwest 1/4. So we take this in here. Yep, you know, it's driving me crazy right now. I gotta go. I don't have time to be drawing in lines all day long. Right? But that right there is the southern half of the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 6. And so if this whole thing here is 640 acres, and you divide it into quarters, this right here is how many acres? 160. And then you drive it into quarters, and that's 40 acres. You see where I'm pointing? and then you divide it into half, there is your 20 acres, which gives you that same number. Does that make sense? So that's really the best and easiest way to understand the government rectangular survey system and how that works. So who's got questions on that? Anyone?
Yeah, we're gonna have to find linear footage for fences around that too, right? Is that possible?
Yep. So let's figure out the fence. The wonderful fencing system. So first of all, while I'm erasing, I want you to figure out how many linear feet we need around this 20-acre piece of land. Because we're going to put a fence around here. So how many linear feet do we need? I don't think it's 2640. And I'll tell you why. So here we go. Okay, if I'm going to run, because I did some running this morning. Okay, and let me tell you something. Maybe this will help you remember. I've run 4 marathons. Anybody know how far is marathon?
26-1.
26.2 miles. Don't try to take away that 0.1 from me, right? 26.2 miles. And let me tell you something. Sometimes, and I ran this morning because I'm trying to get back into it, and I've run like 8 or 9 half marathons. But I kind of like the last few years been like, you know, just slowly doing less and less and less and less miles. Any of you can do it. So I don't look at it like it's the biggest deal in the world. Any of you can do it, but it's a mind game. And sometimes when I'm running, I think, oh man, I got to do 4 more miles. And while I'm running, I'm thinking, okay, 4 times 5,280. Okay, that's like about 21,000 feet. Oh, good, I just ran 3 more feet. Okay, I just ran 3 more feet. Okay, now I got like 20,000 feet I got to run. And I'm always trying to drill down. So if I'm running from here all the way over to here, that's how long? 1 mile or 5,280 feet. And if I'm running from here to here, that's what? A half a mile or what? 20, is that 2640? Or if I'm running from here to here, that's a quarter. And how much is that? 1320, right? Or how about this? I should have done it the other way. If I'm running from here to here, how far is that? Who knows?
Is that 2640?
No, because a full mile from this way all the way down here would be a full mile, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, 13.
So from here to here is 2640. And then from here to here is 1320. And then, again, from here to here is 1320. So from here to here is what? Half of 1320, which is what? 6, who's got it? 660? No, yeah, right? Is it 660?
Yeah.
660.
So the whole point is if I was to go from here to here is how much?
660.
Well, remember from here to here is what?
Oh, okay, 1320.
Yeah. So from here to here, so this is going to be 1320. And if I was to go from here to here, it's
660.
1320.
And the other sides.
But if I'm going up and down, 660, 660. Does everybody follow me? If I'm gonna go from this top left-hand corner all the way across is 1320. And then half of that is 660, 1320, 660. Does everybody follow me on that? Who's got questions that doesn't get that?
So 3960 is the final.
3960 linear feet. So who doesn't understand how we got 3960? And please tell me if you don't, because it doesn't matter if we go over this again. Does everybody feel comfortable? Okay, so here's the cost of the fence. All right, you ready? So it's going to be how much? It is going to be 7 feet high. And the cost is $2.50 square foot and $3.80 for installation per linear foot. So how much is this fence going to cost us? So I'm going to give you a couple minutes, right? And you can see if you can get that. Right, so we have this fence that's 7 feet high, and it's going for $2.50 per square foot of fence. So how many square feet of fence do we have? How would you figure that out?
5,280 times 7. And that gives.
No, that's what I'm not figuring it that way. How many linear feet of fence do we have? So like if you were walking,
3960.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we have 3960 linear, right?
Yup. If you were walking,
7.
right, you're walking every foot. You follow me? Every foot you're walking. Just like if you started on the picture, if you started walking here, then here, then here, then here. You have to do that 3,960 feet, but it's also, remember, how many feet high? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's really what? 3,960 times 7 gives you what?
27,720.
So that's how much, 27,720. What is that number?
Square footage of the total fence.
Yeah, that's the square feet of fence. Isn't that crazy? Right? And then it's $2.50 per square foot. So you got to do 27,720 times $2.50 gives you what?
69,300.
Does everybody agree with that? So that's how much you're buying the fence for. $69,000, $69,300. Plus, you have to get it installed. So here you are, you buy this fence for $69,000, $69,300. They come, they put it on your land. Now you got to have the installers come in. How much are the installers going to charge you? Where they're going to charge you $3.80 per linear feet. So what do you have to do? 3,960 times what? 380. What does that give you?
$15,048.
15,048. Does everybody get that? So you're gonna now you go over here 69,300 plus 15,048 equals what?
$84,348.
$84,348 for the whole fence. What do you think? You guys like that? You got any questions? Isn't that exciting? Who's got questions? Anybody? Anybody want to discuss it? Go over it together? You sure? Remember, smartreadvice.com. Click on subscribe. Boom. Clear it. All right. Now, originally, you probably went over this with Matt. Again, here's a piece of land. You probably talked about this with Matt. Here's a piece of land. And here's what kind of lines are these? Let's say the smaller ones every 6 miles. What are these called? Who remembers? What are those called? North and south every 6 miles apart. Just talked about it 47 minutes ago.
Range lines.
Right? Those are range lines? Yes.
Range line.
And then the ones going across are what?
Base, I think.
Yeah, baselines.
Well, no, these I'm saying every 6
Townships.
miles apart. What are they?
Township.
Oh, township.
Township.
So these are range, these are township. Now, there's going to be some pieces of land, I should have used green, which I'll do it over here now. Like, let's say this piece of land right here. This is a nice green piece of land. Now, you see, it doesn't fit exactly in the township, right? And it has curves. It's irregular. So in some states, when they use rectangular government survey system, they're also going to use what type of land description method? Because right now, we've just been talking about basically government rectangular survey system. What did you talk about with Matt on Saturday?
Meets and bounds.
Meets and bounds, which is more like a description. So remember, on some deeds, they're going to have both meets and bounds and rectangular government survey system together because it's not exactly fitting into the rectangle. Does that make sense? All right. So next off, all right, we're going to take a little break from this. All right, is the third method. And what's the third method called? What's the third method called?
Lot and block.
The old lot and block. So does everybody see figure 5.8 or no? Do you have that? Are you able to see that? Because we're gonna have to do some discussions about figure 5.8, which is the subdivision plat map. So let's talk about this. First of all, how many lots are in this subdivision? I'll tell you what. We're going to take it to the next. We're going to take it to the next level. Does everybody see it or no? Do you all have it or not really? Okay. Because I was going to pull it up on the screen. So there's 8. Does everybody see that in the top left-hand corner? 1, and then going to the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the name of this subdivision?
Fertile acres.
Fertile acres. Lot 2, right? Lot 2, how much road frontage does lot 2 have?
Is it 70?
Okay. How much?
70.
70, right? So lot 2 has 70 of feet of road frontage, right? Now, how deep is lot 2?
100.
100. So you see how there's 70 feet of road frontage, and that's the feet that goes along the road. And then you see how it goes deep, 100. Anybody have questions on that? Okay, so the next question is, how many square feet is lot 2?
7,000.
Got 7,000. How'd you get that?
Multiply 100 by 70.
Right? Okay. So multiply 100 times 70 gives you the wonderful world of 7,000 square feet. How much of an acre? Here's another number we're going to have to share and that you're going to have to remember. How much of an acre is lot 2? How would you figure that out? How much of an acre is lot 2? So the question then is, how many square feet are in 1 acre? Who knows?
43,560.
Right? So that's a number that you have to know. You got to remember. It's just like, you know, how many feet are in a mile? 43,500 square feet is in 1 acre. So how many acres is lot 2?
0.16.
How'd you get that?
Did the 7,000 square feet divided by 43,560.
And there you go. And it came up to 0.16. Everybody get that? 0.16 acres. All right, my friends. Well, I don't know what's wrong with everybody here, but you guys love fences. So we got to put a fence around this lot. So here's the whole story. It's going to be 4-foot high fence. And we're going to have a 6 feet opening for like a gate that we're going to put in another time. And the cost of the fence is $2.90 square foot and $3 because you're a doctor. You got your doctorate and you live in like a high-end neighborhood, so it's going to be $3.95 per linear foot to install. So how much is the fence going to cost you? So I'm going to give you a minute or two. I'm going to do a little pause here on the recording. All right, let's see how everybody did. So the first thing is to figure out, well, what I would do anyways, is how many square feet of fence you need, right? So how many square feet of fence do you need? We have this, let me do this here. I should have did this while I was just having a good time, messing around. How did you figure out how many square feet of fence we need for this piece of land that is 70, 100, you know.
Is it 340?
You passed the test, man. You did a great job. Yes. Why? Because remember, if you're going to, let's say, start here, you have to walk 70 feet plus 100, gives you 170, plus 70 gives you what? 240, plus 100 gives you 340, right? So does everybody follow that first off? Because most people, well, not most, but a lot of people get confused because we just spent a long time talking about what? We just spent a long time talking about area, which we know inside here is 7,000 square feet. That's the area. But what we have to do to calculate this is linear feet. So if you got that right, you're doing pretty good because it's easy to get yourself confused. So we have, whoa, right? 340 linear feet. So what's the next step you got to do?
Subtract the 6
Multiply
foot
by
opening.
4.
Multiply it times what?
Yeah, Never mind.
Don't we have to subtract the 6-foot opening?
That's right. Remember, we got this wonderful 6-foot opening, so we got to do -6, gives us 334 linear feet. If you got that right, man, now you're really cooking. What do they say? Now you're cooking with gas, man. Then what's the next step?
Multiply by 4.
Times 4, because it's 4 feet high, right? So that equals what? I'm already using my computer and my phone, so I don't have a calculator, you guys. Steven's got me using all my resources here.
1336.
Right? 1336. Whoa, I don't know what just happened there. It's got to catch up. All right. So that's how much we have for what? Square feet of fence. Does everybody follow me? Now, it's $2.90 of square feet of fence times 1,336 equals what?
3,874.40.
3,874, is that right?
Yep.
Is everybody with me on that? Who's got questions on that? So that's really the cost of the fence, which, believe it or not, that's pretty cheap fence. All right, and now we need to have the fence installed. So $3.95 per linear foot times what? How many linear feet did we have?
$334.
Right, 334. So 334 equals what?
$1,319.30.
1,300.
$19.30.
Right? So then you add these two together, and what do you get?
$5,193.70.
All right, my friends, did you have fun with that? And that's a cheap fence. If you can get a fence like that, you're doing pretty good. So who's got questions on that? All right, let's go back to figure 5.8, you know, in the book, and keep talking a little bit more about this one. So, which lot has the most road frontage? Now remember, before you answer, how many streets are we looking at? That's why you got to be really careful of this if you're going house hunting and you're looking at what kind of lot with sidewalks. If you're looking at a corner lot with sidewalks, you're usually going to be spending a lot of time shoveling sidewalks. So which one of these lots do you see has the most road frontage?
Is that number 8?
Number 8, because look, it has 50 on what street? What's the name of the street that it has 50 feet on? Plus the turn. Has 50 plus 20 for the turn is what? You see, it's called West F Street. That's the actual main street for the subdivision. But then it turns onto what street?
Deering Lane.
Deering Lane. So does everybody see that? Who's got questions on that? And there's another 80 feet right there, and then there's another 12 feet. Okay, so that one has the most. Now, which lots do not have any easements? Now, whenever you see dotted lines, those are easements. So which of these lots do not have any easements at all?
One and two.
1 and 2, right? Because you see, lot number 3 has an easement for public utilities to the west, to the east. Lot number 4, easement of public utilities to the west, and then it also has an easement for drainage to the south, and then it also has an easement for what to the east. Lot number 4, what's that easement that's all the way to the east of its lot?
Is that still the public utilities?
Yep, easement for public utilities. Because if you see easement for public utilities, it's lot number 4, it's lot number 5, it's lot number 6, it's lot number 7, and it's lot number 8. Does everybody see that? And again, if you need me to pull up the slide, it only takes me a minute to find it. If you don't have this in front of you, just let me know. I don't have a problem doing that. Okay, but that's the whole lot and block method. You need to be able to kind of look at the subdivision plat. You need to be able to understand just a little bit. You don't have to be an expert on this, right? But you need to understand, oh yeah, here's some road frontage. This lot is this deep. This lot is this much square feet, right? And so forth. All right, any questions on the subdivision plat map? None, everyone's just having fun with it? All right, now, surveys. So there's a few different terms when we talk about surveys that you need to know about. One of the terms is a survey sketch. So what's a survey sketch? Who knows? What's a survey sketch?
The sketch shows the location and dimensions of the parcel.
Right, just the parcel. But for a lot of people, that's not good enough. You also want to see the location, size, and shape of the buildings on the lot. So what kind of survey is that referred to as?
Spot survey?
Spot survey, right? And do you need to have a license, a special license to be a surveyor?
Yes.
Yes, you do. All right. Next section, measuring elevations. So you might have realized, we talked in previous classes that you really do have air rights and so forth, but also we need to talk about, okay, when we have elevations, if for instance, there also might be some rights as to not only air lots, but also with condominium laws. And when we talk about condominium laws, right, we're talking about the surveyors understanding about floor and ceiling surfaces and what could possibly happen. So as an example, here's the land, and maybe you have a condominium complex that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 stories high. Well, let's say somebody lives on the 3rd floor, right? And God forbid there's a fire, right? Well, we don't know necessarily if the fire, and it's on this side of the building, did it start here and spread down? Is it from them? Or is it from the 3rd floor, their actual unit? Or is it from somebody on the 2nd floor or even the 1st floor that did some work and then it went up, right? And so once they determine where it actually happened, let's just say it started right here, right? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do, started right here. All right. Well, they're going to be able to go on the deed, and the deed is going to tell the elevation of unit number whatever 308, right? And it's going to say, okay, well, unit number 308 owns from, and I'm just going to make this up as I'm going. Let's say this is 0 to 12, and this is up to 24, and this is up to 36. So they own from 24 feet to 36 feet above sea level. Whoa. Right? And they're going to be able to find out maybe a little bit more who might possibly be responsible, what are the legal issues that come up, and so forth. So does that make sense to everyone? Right? Now we also have a datum, D-A-T-U-M. So what's a datum? What's a datum?
Yeah, a point line or a surface from which elevations are measured or indicated.
Right? Above sea level. Okay, so if we got this land right here, right, we got some brown land over here, and this might be from here, and we have a house over here to here above sea level. Pretty simple, right? Well, the United States Geological Survey System, their main point that they use is where? As a datum. What's the main one that they use? Which, again, these are questions you need to know.
Sea level at New York Harbor.
Sea level at New York Harbor, right? And that's what we probably use too. And one of the things I remembered, and it's not exact, and I guess it depends where you're at, but like I've been told anyways, I don't know if it's really true, but there's 169 feet, there's 169 towns and villages in Connecticut, and East Hartford is about, give or take, 160 feet, mostly on its highest peak above sea level, from above sea level, right? So it's something to kind of remember. But remember, each city or regional area has their own point. So like if you lived in Miami, they're probably not going to use New York Harbor. They're going to use the Miami Harbor, right? Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Harbor. Chicago, Illinois probably has a harbor or point from the Great Lakes that they're going to use, right? And so that's how they establish, different locators and determining the height of different structures and so forth. Now, there's also things called monuments. What are monuments? So what are monuments?
Just markers in the parcel.
Yeah, and so those are going to be like, for instance, different points of markers that you can use. It might be a piece of rebar, some kind of steel. It could be some kind of metal pipe that's driven into the soil. Could be some kind of stake, whatever it might be. And then we also have benchmarks. So what are benchmarks?
Says monuments that have been established as permanent reference points throughout the U.S.
Right? And so one of the things that's cool, right? I've been to, so these are usually embossed brass markers, right? Permanent reference points. So like example, anyone ever been to Key West? Right? They say it's the southernmost tip of the continental United States, right? Key West. And it's actually the other way. I should erase that. It's like here's Florida, and then here's all the islands, and then you got Key West, right? But that, if you go there, they'll tell you that's the southernmost tip, and that's the closest that we are to Cuba. I forget it, I think it's 90 miles, right? Anybody ever been to Puerto Rico? Right? In San Juan in Puerto Rico, there's a point over here. Anybody ever been to Bermuda? Okay, there's a point over here. Anybody ever been to Miami? There's a point over here. So guess what? And they have real points, right? But not to get all crazy weird on you, but the whole point is the point in Miami, the point in San Juan, the benchmark point in Bermuda. What does that make? That's the Bermuda Triangle, you guys. And then if you get into a plane and you fly through it and you go, shh, but anyways, oh, that's a whole bunch of weirdness, right? But the point is, it's pretty cool. It really is cool if you were in Key West and you're at that one point, right? You're at that one point. So the next figure they show in Unit 5 is all these different units of land measurement. I'm going to be truthful with you. We really don't use a lot of this stuff, and I don't think it's even in the state exam. But some of the things that definitely are that you need to know, I would tell you definitely, number one, you need to know mile. So how long is a mile? You need to know that. How long is a mile?
5,280 feet.
Right? 5,280 feet. That's got to be known. A square mile, which is also called a what? Section, which is also how many acres?
640.
640 acres. Okay, you need to know that. An acre equals how many square feet?
43,560.
Right? That's what you need to know. Definitely you need to know that. How many square feet are in an acre, right? Cubic yard, I don't know. Square yard, you should probably know. That, to me, that gets a little bit tricky. So like, for instance, a square yard, so remember this, how many feet are in 1 yard?
3.
3. So then a square yard is what? 9 square feet. 9 square feet. They usually do, believe it or not, it gets a little bit tricky. I know my picture's terrible, but they'll do carpet square yards. When they're measuring carpet, they do that a lot. So you need to be familiar with that. So those are some of the units of land measurement you need to know. I think we already did land acquisition costs. All right, there's an interesting one. There's an interesting one that I wanted to go over with you. Okay, so who's got questions so far about what we're going through? Okay, so the question that I wanted to ask you, and I'm always trying to find my way to figure it out, to say it the fastest or the easiest way. So here's a section. See if you can figure that out, because this could be a question. Ah, son of a gun. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me. Okay. So who remembers what number section is this? 1, right? And I can go all along this and and then you go boom, 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 and this turns out to be, oops. What number is this one on the bottom right? Who remembers? 36. So if I'm gonna run, what's the shortest amount of distance I can run to get from the shortest amount of distance I can run, let's say miles, to get from section, because remember, this is a township. This whole thing is a township. To get from section 36 to section 1? What's the shortest amount of distance that I can run? How many miles do I have to run? While you're trying to figure this out, I'm gonna just do
Isn't
this.
that a mile?
Anybody?
4.
4? You say 4, anybody else?
1 mile?
1 mile?
4 miles.
Oh, yeah.
4 miles? So the shortest amount, I'm almost done. Man, I'm working on my numbers here. It's weird when you don't write very often. So the shortest amount of distance is, if I was to start here, right, the top corner, I run what? 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles to get to number 1. So whoever said 4 was correct. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's a little bit of a weird one. Then I would tell you, and sometimes I like to go over it, but I think we're going to keep on moving forward, is to spend some time at these questions, and especially questions 5 through 8 is pretty interesting. So, like example, really quick, what section, right? What section number is under section 31? Is south of section 31, directly south? Anybody have an idea?
Number 6.
Number 6. Because take a look at this. This is going to be what? What I'm going to draw right now is going to be what? So this is Township 35. I don't know. I'm just making it up. This down here might be, I don't know exactly how they number them all. Township 36. I don't know. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So section 36 is right under section 31 of Township 35. Right? Or what section is to the west, directly to the west of section 6? Maybe this is Township,
1.
I don't know, 21, 27. I'm just making up. 1. Because remember, this is going to be another township. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see how that works? Doesn't it get your mind start thinking about this the way it is? Because remember, it's just like putting a big, huge piece of graph paper on top of a map. So who's got questions about that? And this is technically 12, 13, 24, 25, 36. And then, again, 1, and it just keeps on going.
This is all throughout the United States?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm not going to be a wise guy. I'm just going to tell you, hey, on Saturday, I know you might not have been able to be here. Matt went over this, but I'll go over it really quick with you. The number one, not the number one, but the first one we go over for legal descriptions is called what? Meets and bounds. Now, this is how they're going to try to confuse you. I want to write it the way that it shows it in the book so I don't confuse you, right? It has a meets dash and dash bounds. So where did this start? What is meets and bounds? It's a description where we have, right, a what? A POB, which is the what? What does POB stand for? Here's the land.
Point of
Point of
beginning.
beginning.
Point of beginning. And then it says go south along the West River until you hit the big charter oak tree, right? Until you hit the big charter oak tree, then go west 200 feet, then go north until you hit the road, 180 feet, and then go east. And so this is also point of beginning and point of ending. So this is used where? And where was it started? And that's on pages 68, 69. Where was this started, or how was it started, the meets and bounds?
Original 13 colonies.
Right? The original 13 colonies. So in Connecticut, this is what we still use to this day. We don't use the government rectangular survey system. This is more like the way that I always think about the government rectangular survey system is, you ever drive out, fly out west and you're in a plane and you look down and you see all those squares? That's the rectangular survey system. There's a lot of land there, and it's just all like we just went over, which we pretty much spent the first hour and a half on. And so this rectangular survey system, it's also used, mostly out west, but where was it actually started? Or how was it established? Put it that way.
Was it DC?
Well, it was actually, just remember, it was started in Congress in what year?
1785.
1785. Now, the thing that I think is really interesting too is that you should be, I don't know what page this is if you just have the printed version of your books, but you see all the white states there, the ones that are not shaded in. Those are the states using the meets and bounds. And then the ones that are shaded in gray, right? Those are what? The states that are using government rectangular survey system. So you see, it's like those huge states, man, that go, they have tons, and they just dwarf the size of Connecticut if you really look, and that's what they use for that one. Okay. And then, of course, the third one, so that's number 2. And who remembers the third one really quick before we move on? Lot and block, right? So let's look in our red book. I forget if there's anything really special under this unit, because a lot of times there necessarily isn't. But who remembers what unit is it in your red book? Anyone?
Legal description.
Yep, unit number 5. And so they give you examples, and they actually even have example here of, which is kind of interesting, Burnside Avenue in East Hartford, right? And they talk about, okay, the said premises are more particularly bounded and described as follows: northerly by Woodmont Drive, a distance of 178 and 39/100 feet. Easterly, southerly, westerly, and they tell you all the different benchmarks and monuments that are used, right? And then it goes on in this unit and it talks about land surveyors. So we know that a person who measures and maps property boundary lines, they have to be licensed as a land surveyor, right? It talks about the government survey system, and it does say that the public land survey system of the rectangular government is not used in Connecticut. However, the Connecticut legislature has created a coordinated system for the purpose of defining geographic locations of points. So that's kind of interesting. We have boundary laws, and then we have the common interest ownership. What's the common interest ownership? Who knows what that means? When we talk about common interest community or common interest ownership, what does that mean?
Condos?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be though. It could be what? It could be PUDs, right? Common interest, right? Those could be condos. Those could be PUDs. right? Planned unit development, where there's basically certain laws that surround them. And there's also, you know, basically legal descriptions for the entire complex. You know, if you want to call it a complex or whatever you want. So you might say, yes, I own unit 7 in Woodland Heights. Who knows where Woodland Heights is?
That was my first condo,
Where?
Woodland Heights,
What town?
Cromwell.
Yes, yeah. I know. I only say that not to test you, but I think there's a lot of Woodland stuff. But anyways, I got unit number 26 coming on the market tomorrow, so be ready if you want a 2-bedroom condo in Cromwell, right? Little plug there. I know you guys love those little plugs. You know, I got to keep the business going. You know, this is just to, you know, for me to buy my kids shoes, right? But to put the roof over their head, I got to sell some real estate, you guys. You know, but anyways, remember, like unit 7 is going to have the elevation rights and the this and the that, and that's going to be in the deed. But then Woodland Heights also has a legal description as well. All right. So that's the story for unit 5. Who's got questions on that? Anybody? So you ready to do a little exam? All right, let's get things started. All right, so far we got the wonderful world of number 1 is D, number 2 is A, number 3. A man sells 6 acres of prime undeveloped property to a woman for $2.25 per square foot. How much did the woman pay?
The 588,060.
So you got B. Okay, so how do you calculate it? What's the first thing you do?
You take the square feet per acre and then you multiply by the acres. And then you take the square feet and then you multiply it by the price.
Right? So there's 43,500 square feet per acre, right? And how many acres are there? 6. So you do times 6 equals what? 261,360 square feet. And then you take the 261,360 and multiply it times what? $2.25 equals the wonderful world of B as a boy. So does everybody get that? All right, number 4. Which township section number is directly north of section 7?
6.
C.
Right? Everybody got C, section 6? All right. Number 5, which of these most accurately describes the dimensions of a quarter section?
A.
Well, look at the picture.
Half mile by half mile.
Yeah, see, that's how it's so tricky, right? I know, half mile by half mile by half mile by half mile. I know, isn't that a tricky one? Because you think quarter, right?
Yeah, I put A too, so.
I know, that's a hard one, though. I'm telling you, that is a hard one for sure. So don't be getting, you know, don't get too rough on yourself. All right. Number 6, a man is willing to pay $1,200 per acre. He is planning to buy the southeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 11. So how much will he pay for the land? What do you like?
I said C, 12,000.
Anybody else? That's what it is, right? So how many acres is it? Well, if you do the math shortcut, 4 times 4 times 4 is what? 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4 is what? 64. 640 acres divided by 64 equals 10 acres, right? Times what? Times 1,200. There you go. All right, number 7. In the past, a farm was typically a quarter section of what? Or what? It's kind of one of those weird things, either you know or you don't, right? Yep, C as in Charlie. Number 8, there are 2 parcels. What are we talking about here? Now look, here's the tricky part. I use the word and, but you see this semicolon? I should have told you that. But again, if you read the book too, you would know it, right? But that semicolon means and. So if you didn't get that, you have a hard time right from the start. So that tells you, here's one. I'm going to take this circle out. Are you with me? Is everyone still with me? Oh. Hello, is everyone still with me?
Yeah.
Something's going
Yes.
on here. Right, so number 8 is basically there's 2 parcels of land.
You're not screen
Right.
sharing anymore.
The first parcel is how many acres?
Hey, Rob, you're not screen sharing anymore.
I know, my internet went out. It's just, oh, it's just killing me. My internet right now is not on, believe it or not. That's why I'm on the phone. So the first parcel of land is how many acres? I'm just waiting for my internet to go back on. But the first parcel of land, northeast 1/4 of the northwest 1/4. So you would do 4 times 4 is 16. 640 divided by 16, that would be 40 acres, right? Is everybody with me? Kind of, right? And then the second one, piece of land, is 60 acres because we have what? A half times a quarter. I should be on in a second. Hold on. We're gonna get there. We're gonna be coming back in a second. So thank God at least I got the phone, right? Meeting, right here, join. Should be there in a second. All right, I'm back. Okay. You with me? Okay, can you see that now?
Yep.
All right, good. So remember, it's 2 pieces of land. Okay, you got this one and this one. So that's 4 times 4 is 16. And then 640 divided by 16 is what, 40? Right? And then you got the north half. You got the second piece of land. And so 2 times 4 is what? 32? Well, 32. 640 divided by 32 is what? 20. So you got 20 plus 40. There's your 60 acres. Does everybody see that? All right, number 9, what do you like? Let me hear you.
Townships.
Township squares. D. 10, what do you like?
Was it B?
10, a meets and bounds description is not required in a rectangular survey system when what? Too large. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So yes, it's when this when it's irregular. Yes, it's when it's too small. Yes, it's when it doesn't follow. But it doesn't make sense that it's too large. 11, what do you like? So remember, beginning at a point on the southerly side, 200 feet easterly, that's 200. Formed by the intersection of the southern side and easterly of Jensen, then 200, then east 200 feet, right? Then south 200 feet, then north, or then west 200 feet, then north 100 feet. So basically it's 200 times 100 gives you what? 20,000. Make sense? So the answer is D as in dog. Number 12, what do you like?
POB?
Number 12, POB, also the same as POE. Number 13,
A?
hey, you got it. Okay, the old Honeysuckle Hill subdivision. 14, which lot in Block A has the most frontage?
Okay.
You see right here, 95 plus 65, lot number 7. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, that's what we, yeah.
On Jasmine Lane. That's what it is on Jasmine Lane. 15, how many lots have easements? Does lot 1 have an easement? Yes. Lot 14, lot 15. Yeah.
I put B.
And then, yep, lot 15 on block B over here.
Oh,
I know. It's tricky too, so all those have easements, right? So the answer for number 15 is C as in Charlie. Right, C as in Charlie. 16, which roads run east and west? Right, Wolf runs east and west because you see north right here, north, right, south, east, west, right, and then Jasmine Lane. So the answer for 16 is A as in apple. 17, which of these lots has the least street exposure? What do you like for 17? The least street exposure. Which one's the smallest out of the for street exposure? Look, 30. There's none of them that have less than 30, right? It's like a triangle. So that is A. 17 is A as in apple. 18 is kind of a long story. What do you like? Who got it right? That's the description. What do you like for it? Hey, Brett, that's a good looking baby.
15 months.
C,
Awesome. Yep, 18, B as in boy, lot 8, block A. So that's the description for it. Take out your phone, take a picture of this question if you can't get it, but that's what it is. 19, if lot 13 and lot 14, block A, were combined into one parcel, how many square feet would it be? So let's see, 13 and 14, block A. So 13 and 14, block A. Right, if you add those two together, that would be what, 180? Everybody follow me? And then times 120. See the 120 right there? 90 plus 90. So then it would be what? 180 times 120 equals what? 21,600. So that would be answer C as in Charlie. And then lucky number 20, what do you like? Anyone? How do we figure that one out? Well, first of all, lot 10 is how big? 90 times 120, right? There's 120, there's 90. So 90 times 120 is what? 10,800 square feet. And then times what? Times $3 a square foot equals the wonderful world of 32,400. Right? Everybody follows me on that? Any questions? And so the answer for 20 is D as in dog. All right. Well, you guys made it through. Each one is 5 points. I know it's a little bit tough, so I apologize. Hopefully you were able to kind of figure it out and get it rolling. So that was a little bit rough for sure. Right? And but hopefully you were able to get it going. So let's just figure out really quick, what are we gonna do for Thursday night is we're gonna do in the yellow, right? Unit number 6, transfer of title in the yellow. Transfer of title, unit number 6. And then in the red, if we look, right, we're gonna look up transfer of title, and that is going to be what unit number? Unit number 8. That's where it gets a little bit weird. We've got to look up the name of the title. So in the red, in the yellow, it's unit number 6, and in the red, it's unit number 8. So is everybody happy? Anybody got any questions? Anything you want to go over? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I definitely appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And please get back to me if you have any questions. Do the smart RE advice if you can, and then I'll make sure I share this playlist with you. And I hope you have an awesome night, you guys and gals. Thank you.
Hey, Rob, real quick too. I went on the website. It's not coming up. I don't know why. So maybe you can tech, or I don't understand why.
All right, let me show you. Just really quick. Let me see if I'm wrong.
In
Okay.
case anyone else has that problem, I'm going to say it now because I just went on and it's just.
So right here, I'm going to type in smart, SMARTRE advice.com, right? Everybody
Yeah.
see me on that?
Oh, on YouTube?
On my Google, right? Yeah. So you click on smartreadvice.com.
Oh yeah, you weren't going on YouTube.
But,
Well, I just go in the URL. Just type in smartreadvice.com, right? And then it's going to come up, and of course, it's got to be slow, right? But it's going to come up sooner or later. And then on the right-hand side, somewhere here, well, I'm on my profile. I'm on my profile, but ultimately, you'll see under home, it's because I'm under my profile. You'll see under home, which give me a second, it'll say over here in the red, over here somewhere in the red, it'll say subscribe. Look, there's me like
okay.
about 13 years ago. Woo!
You don't look a day older.
Yes.
Exactly
Yeah.
the same.
But over here, because I'm subscribed to mine, you know, it says customized channel, YouTube studio, but over here it'll be red and it'll say subscribe. So click on subscribe, and then it'll send me an email saying that you subscribed, and then I'll, you know, in the next whatever hour, 2, 3 hours, whatever, I'll send you the playlist link. All right. All right, you guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, and there's, you see right here, playlist. So it's going to be a specific playlist just for you guys that's going to be private. So you don't have to worry about anybody, you know, all that good stuff. But there'll be other playlists you can look at. You know, you can see a lot of different playlists here for you.
What is the playlist called, Rob? Because I subscribed. Should I be able to see it?
No, I'm going to send you the link because it's private.
Oh.
So once you get it, it'll say real estate pre-licensing classes. But you see right here, you see how it says unlisted? Because it's private to only people that I share it with. So
Okay.
once I send you the link, then you'll see it. I'll email or text you the link. Whichever you respond to me, like, you know, if you say, hey, Rob, I did it, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
All right. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye.
All right, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Talk
Rob.
to you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.